Guten Morgen.
Good morning everyone and welcome to Berlin. Today we're going to do a walking tour in the afternoon, but we're just heading out for coffee now, so enjoy. So we had a little treat and we stayed at the Hilton, which was really accessible from Stadtmitz underground station. There were Berlin bears everywhere and you will see a few spotted throughout this video. Day one then, itinerary, we started off going to the Brandenburg Gate, down a big stretch of road, and at the end is obviously the Brandenburg Gate, which is where every time Germany has won a conflict, the troops have marched back through the gate to celebrate. We also went to the Soviet Union memorial, and this is what's on your screens now. We also went to the Jewish memorial, which is a lot of stone blocks, and when you first see it, they're quite low, but when you walk into them, they kind of consume you, which is quite powerful really, and it really makes you think about how they must have been feeling being in those circumstances. We then went over to see the East Berlin government building, and there was actually a memorial there which showed some of what life was like in East Berlin at that time, and the workers and the lives that they led. We then come to the actual Berlin Wall. Now the Berlin Wall fell in 1990, and I was actually lucky enough as a school child to visit the Berlin Wall just after it fell in 1991, and this is actually the section that we visited, so it was quite poignant to me who'd actually seen it, very close to when it fell. So this is the Gestapo and SS Museum. There is actually an outdoor section and then an indoor section on your left there. So this is the Berlin Wall here at the back, and then we are at Topography of Terror, which is this museum that runs along the bottom. And finally a stop at Checkpoint Charlie, where a lot of the exchanges took place before we moved on to day two. So day two started with a cruise along the River Spree. We actually went on the boat called Adele, which goes from just outside the DDR Museum, which was our next stop. The DDR Museum wasn't actually very big at all, but did take us over an hour to get round, and there was a lot of information there about how people lived in the East before the wall came down. We also visited Berlin Cathedral. This is the Berlin Dome, and there's a huge amount of museums to visit, history, art, pre-war. And on the right hand side of your screen then was the Berlin TV Tower, so if you like a view of the city at a height, that is also a great place to stop. We then headed back towards the cathedral, and right opposite is the pre-war museum, and there is some gardens and a fountain. We walked through the Pergamon Museum, which has some stunning architecture. And we also visited a weekend market that was on the banks of the River Spree to finish our weekend off. We went out to eat to a steak restaurant called Madero and also an Italian restaurant. We also had drinks in Newton's bar and the hotel bar as well. Some of our favourites, that was a lemon cocktail, and obviously we stopped for some cake along the way as well. The Coca-Cola is very different than the Coke Zero that we're used to. And then a few Berlin bears to end the vlog, a real one, and also one outside of the chocolate shop on the corner of Stadmit. Next week we are at Charlottenburg, which is Berlin's summer palace. So please join us for that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and we'll see you soon.